girl. Oh, Jesus, darling. Come here. Hey. We are talking about the romantic horror movie After Midnight, and this one is directed by Jeremy Gardner and Christian Stella. Now, Jeremy Gardner actually stars as our kind of central character as well, called Hank, and he also wrote the movie. So this is somewhat of a bizarre film, and it features Jeremy Gardner as the character Hank, as I've mentioned, and B. Grant, and they play a couple who are essentially living in this kind of somewhat rural farmhouse, and they've been together for nearly a decade, I think it is, but they've never kind of tied their knot or had kids or anything like that. And one day, inexplicably, B. Grant's character, she just disappears, she just goes. And this sends Hank into a kind of spiralling pit of depression, and he seems to be becoming rather unhinged. Now, he seems to also be menaced by some unknown creature every night after midnight, who scratches on his door and seems to have some sort of malevolent kind of intent against him. And of course, no one believes him. They just kind of think he's depressed and everything like that. And what will happen? Well, you're going to have to watch the movie to find out. So first of all, let's talk about what works with After Midnight. I'm going to say, I think the thing for me, the acting here, I think, is pretty good. Everyone, I think, does a pretty good job in regards to their particular roles. There's good performances. You do feel there's kind of like this spiralling kind of level of craziness coming from the Hank character, and I think he portrays it quite well. This kind of unhinged but not completely kind of crazy sort of style of acting that he does, I think, was pretty good. I also quite like the fact that this movie does give you somewhat kind of fleshed out characters, with maybe one exception. And I actually quite like some of the supporting characters as well here. His best friend is the kind of comedy relief. I think is actually kind of quite a fun sort of character, and there's some fun kind of dialogue scenes where they're discussing maybe what this kind of monster might be and things like that. I also thought was good. On a technical level, I feel this movie is fairly proficient. Obviously a low budget film, but I feel it does a good job here with kind of the set design. The actual effects, although minimal, I think are used to a good effect here. And it does, if you are a bit of a romantic, that's kind of the central theme here, is a bit of a romantic horror film. So again, it has a somewhat of a unique voice in the plethora of other horror movies that we have. But what doesn't work? Okay, let's just cut to the chase. Nothing really happened in this film. There's virtually no plot in this movie. It's weird. It's a weird plot what we do have, though, because it almost doesn't need a monster. It could have just been a romantic comedy about two estranged people who have a recompense at the end. But it just has this kind of a couple of monster scenes, and they are very brief. So I just don't really get it. I mean, the movie kind of makes you want to question whether it's the monster is real or not, and I feel it needed to be a little bit. It needed to play it up more, but also be more ambiguous about maybe what is actually kind of going on here. I think it may be the monster effects are a little to the background, to be honest with you. So you almost forget about it to a certain degree. So you kind of wanted to see more, but you'd also want to question, you as an audience member think, is this guy mad, or is there really something there? The movie never really kind of makes you believe one way or a particular way. It's pretty clear that what's kind of going on here. I mean, you asked me some questions, but I feel the movie could have done a better job here. I mentioned I like the characterization. B. Grant's character, the girlfriend, though, has a very flimsy reason for going away, and we as an audience member are meant to feel sympathetic, but I find it's incredibly difficult because I really, to be honest with you, side with the Hank character here, because there's not really a good enough reason about why she has left, and you just think, to be honest with you, that's kind of a dick move. but we're meant to feel sorry for her to a certain degree. And I've got to say, this movie is 90% kind of just this guy pining over this girl. It is pretty dull. There needed to be a bit more stuff going on. This really isn't a horror movie, if we're being completely honest. Yeah, there's kind of creature effects in here, but it's such a small part of the film. It really, when you look at the kind of the packaging and the kind of description here, it makes it sound like it's this kind of like a creature feature first and then a love story second. It isn't. It's such a minor part of the story. It's just there to kind of demonstrate how distraught he is and make you as an audience member thinking, oh, is he nuts, or is he just can he not handle it? Has he killed this girl? What's he done? But I feel the movie's not deep enough to kind of really make you invested in that question, and is fairly upfront about what's going on. So I've got to be honest with you, I feel on a technical level this movie is well made, and I feel this is definitely the movie that the filmmakers wanted to make, but it is not a particularly interesting film to watch as an audience member, and there's just not enough going on, and I feel unless you are like a real kind of romantic, and that's the primary reason why you want to watch this, there's not really a lot here outside of that. And like I've said, even that part of it, I feel wasn't particularly structured, because I don't think there's a good enough reason here about why this female character did what she did. So, I can't recommend this movie, although I wouldn't say it's necessarily badly made. I just don't think it's a particularly interesting film. So I'll give it a 4 out of 10, because I do feel on an acting level and on a technical level, this movie is proficient, but I just feel like it's not a very interesting film, at least for me. And I have to say, I think for most people, there's just not enough here to really warrant a watch, and you'll be kind of questioning why you've watched it. Why not just watch a straight love story or a creature feature? It's just a kind of like a non-entity in either of them, to be honest with you. 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to you next time. Bye for now.